been 7-8 years that I started my first restaurant, Desi Vibes, in Sector 18 Noida, which is now one of the best restaurants in Noida and has won many awards and have been covered by many channels, many media, has been in news for quite a long time and everything. Uh, Out of so many people I have met in my journey, everybody did say, that somewhere down the line, somewhere at the corner of their heart, they always wanted to start a restaurant. So it really feels very nice when you meet people and they have a dream to start their own restaurant. But you know, uh, as people assume that they should have a restaurant, their dream is to have a restaurant. We feel, as I feel that they are missing some point, and that's the reason. Let me guide you today on starting a restaurant. See, what it is not important that we start a restaurant. What is more important is we keep it running. That is more important. Uh, there are 3,600 restaurants in Delhi NCR, according to the latest guide. And every day a new restaurant opens, every day an old restaurant shuts down. So it is very, very important that we know that if we are opening a restaurant, what it takes and what are the right steps we should keep in mind, and so that we not only open a restaurant, but we even keep the restaurant open. So I'll just start my PPT that I have made, and it's about a foodie. Probably it will help you in understanding the entire process. The very first thing that whenever I talk about people opening their own restaurant, I do ask them, is this what you really want to do? It's probably it's a side thing for them, probably it's just a lifestyle business for them, probably because they always wanted to have a restaurant, people will talk about it, it's a glamorous industry, or they'll have a place to hang out with their friends. But the very first thing is, do you really want to open a restaurant? It is very, very hard work. It is very, very hard work that whenever you open a restaurant, you have to do a lot of multitasking from 9 a.m. in the morning when the suppliers start coming in to 1 a.m. in the night till the last table is there. You have to handle each and everything. So, a lot of responsibility from bookkeeping to cooking to tasting food to hiring people, checking the people out, and understanding what your customer wants to communicate. Everything, it becomes very, very difficult. The pressure is too huge, and it is very, very important that you know that the expectations from the expectation of the customer walking in to your restaurant is very, very high. So to make that expectations fulfilled, it is very, very important that you understand each and every step. The moment he comes in, sees the entire restaurant, how he feels about it, the food that he tastes, the things that we present in, it becomes a very, very tedious job. So the very first thing is, understanding that, yes, is this what I want to do? There are many myths about owning a restaurant. Many people say, I love to cook, and that's why I should open a restaurant. But it's like about every person who knows HTML opens a company of website designing. So every chef should become a restaurateur. Every chef should own a restaurant. So it's not like that because it's your hobby, it's your favorite hobby, and you want to turn it into a restaurant. You also have to keep in mind that cooking for close friends or family, when people start praising you about the food that you are cooking, it becomes very, very different when you are doing it professionally. It's like one mom cooks the food, one brother likes it, the other brother does not like it. So once you go public, thousands of people walk into your restaurant with different opinion, with different taste. You have to keep in mind that it's not your individual choice that will make your restaurant food, stand out, but it's the people opinion and the feedbacks that you are getting from the customer that really matters. So, then again, many people who are graduating, who are completing their MBAs, they nowadays feel that I will also have a place to hang out with my friends. Why not open a cafe? And everyone in my college, everyone, the friend circle that I have, the colony circle that I have, the big college gang that I have will come and will hang out and will make my place popular. The kind of networking my friends have and the kind of networking their friends have will make my joint popular. But you don't start a business keeping in mind that you are doing it as if you are making it a hangout place. The third thing, the biggest myth about owning a restaurant is that I'll be famous, I'll be rich one day. Of course, you can make money, but then again, you have to make sure that you are giving your 100%. Like in any other thing, restaurant failure rate is very, very high. If your restaurant does not click, if you have made mistakes in planning, choosing a location, in any other formality, then the failure chances are very, very high in case of a restaurant. And you cannot become famous unless your restaurant become famous, and your restaurant cannot become famous unless you give your 100% from the first step inside your restaurant to the last bite of the food in your restaurant. It is very, very important that everything goes excellent. Good is not standard now unless the customer experience is excellent. So no doubt you'll become famous, you'll become rich, but you have to put your sweat and blood into it. Unless you do that, again, uh, there's no point that believing once my restaurant would be opened, I'll be famous and I'll be rich. If yes, if really you want to open a restaurant, you have thought about it, it's not about your hobby, it's not about people hanging at your place, and you know that it would be very, very, uh, I want to do this, it's my passion, and I want to make my restaurant successful, then we'll start talking about how to set up a restaurant. So imagine that all the people who are listening to me right now really, really wants to open a restaurant, and they really are passionate about making the restaurant big, famous, and making sure that each and every customer that goes out of my restaurant is happy. That's the only reason you'll be famous, your restaurant would be successful, and everything. So I guess whenever we plan to open a restaurant, the existing options are that we can buy an existing restaurant, we can take a franchisee of a famous restaurant like in Beluchi, or we can plan our own restaurant. So I'll suggest that buying an existing restaurant unless it has a very great rapport does not make any sense. uh, until unless you get a very good deal and the owner is very eager to sell, it does not make any sense. Franchising, yes, they'll help you with operations, they'll help you with modules. If you are not good with systems, if you really want to learn things, then franchisee is a very good option, and you can select a very good franchisee. You have a lot of options in the market. Thousands and thousands of restaurants are franchising right now. Though I would like to suggest that you open your own brand, you open your own brand, you give your 100% to your brand, make sure that you are doing the right thing, and franchise yourself. That is the right way that you should do. And then again, you should also understand what kind of a restaurant you want to open. A restaurant starts from a takeaway joint to a casual dining restaurant to a fast food serving joint like McDonald's, Subways, to a cafe. And now, if we talk about cuisines, there would be approximately 150 different types of restaurants that you can think about. Restaurant, Italian restaurant, Chinese restaurant, Indian restaurant, multi-cuisine restaurant, bar, club, this, cafe, casual cafe, so many things. So the entire thing about choosing a concept depends also on your budget. What kind of a budget you have in your mind. Do you have a budget of opening a takeaway? You have a budget of opening a cafe? You have a budget of opening a fine dining full-fledged restaurant? You have a budget of opening a desk? So in general, I'm talking about each and everything. In general, I'm giving you, things to chew on each and every aspect of every part of the restaurant. So starting from takeaway restaurant to a desk, you can think about everything. Uh, I'll just guide you to certain things that are compulsory in terms of opening a and making a restaurant successful. So the three things to keep in mind is location, location, location. Though the other two things are also important, but the very first important point is to keep in mind the location of the restaurant. I'll give you a small example. Uh, we started a restaurant in Sector 18 Noida by the name of Desi Vibes. After 2 years, Sector 18 Noida market, a GIP mall, Great India Palace Mall, was opened right opposite Sector 18. That time in Sector 18, there were 74 restaurants, and after GIP, there were only 32 restaurants that were left. In 4 to 5 months, in 4 to 5 months span of time, 45 restaurants got shut in Sector 18. The reason was GIP was one of the biggest mall in Sector 18, and the footfall there was very, very high, very, very high. So whenever we are choosing a location, we have to keep in mind that what is the number of people this area would be covering, how many footfalls that I would be seeing on a daily basis, how many people actually come to see this area. Being a restaurant that your restaurant would be operational till 12 o'clock. It's not a dingy place. Is it a good market? Is it a safe market? Is the vigilance in terms of police and everything is right? And is the parking space sufficient? Now let's say opening a takeaway joint in mall does not make any sense because you don't have people walking in and giving you orders. Your guy will run down from the third floor, will deliver the order and everything. So similarly, it is very, 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 very important that you choose your location in the right manner. The second thing is the theme of the restaurant. Many, many restaurants, whenever you visit, you go to the restaurant, you walk into the restaurant, you eat the restaurant food, but then again, you don't feel connected to the restaurant. Until unless you have a theme of the restaurant, unless you have a theme of a restaurant which is very, very different, which is very, very unique, the theme that people are looking for, it would be very difficult to bring in first-time customers to your restaurant because whenever a customer is trying a new restaurant, he would always like to try something new, and that theme has to be very, very new. So once the theme that you are thinking of is new, and you'll have a lot of people who would start opting your restaurant, so let me try the restaurant. The moment you'll have that kind of an outlook towards your restaurant, let me try this restaurant, then what will happen is you would have a chance to make your customer, convert those customers into regular customers. So keeping in mind that, the try factor, I believe that theme is very, very important. Similarly, you should also make sure what is the USP of your restaurant, how it is different in the entire market, how it is different in terms of people around the restaurants around your market. How can you make it better than what is there in the market? I'll give you a small example though. We were discussing with a friend of mine who wanted to open a restaurant in Patna. So he was saying, Manas, why don't you suggest me a good theme of an outlet? So I said, why don't you open a restaurant in Patna by the name of Coders, wherein there are so many people in Patna who are now coders in HTML and in IT industry. So you can have a cafe by the name of Coder, wherein the customer can tell them that these are the projects that we are looking for. The coders come in, they bid for the projects, and they can also drop in a letter saying, okay, we would like to bid in. Similarly, the entire theme of the restaurant could be on IT, where people can get the best of the new things that's happening around in the IT, the latest trends and everything. You have free Wi-Fi where people can come and work on their projects and everything. So it was just an idea that came within 5 seconds of talking to him. But the point is that it is very, very important that what kind of a theme the restaurant has. It has to be very, very unique if you have to make your restaurant successful. Of course, the moment we plan, now that we are ready with the theme, we are ready with a location, we are ready with, yes, I want to do it. There is a lot of list that you have to keep in mind, that choosing the right name, choosing the right location in that location. Now, let's say in mall, what kind of a shop that you are choosing is, the food court is there, but are you choosing your shop in the right corner? Similarly, in any market, there are good areas of the market, there are bad areas of the market, there are moderate areas of the market. Similarly, where the walk-ins are high, where the walk-ins are moderate, where the walk-ins are low. So it is very, very important that even if you have chosen a right location, what location you are choosing in that location. Then the research that you are doing. According to you, probably you are going to GK Part 1 M Block market very often and you think that the restaurant should be here. It does not make any sense. You have to do a research that whether people are coming to GK Part 1 M Block market to eat or not. So, the best way to do research is that at least for a month or at least for 7-8 days, you go to the market, you see how many people are walking in a restaurant, you talk to the managers there, you talk to the stewards there, try to get the insight of a restaurant sales and try to see the bill numbers and how many bills they are generating in a day. Just even you can go for a coffee and you can see how many people, what are their prime time, what is their low time. The research has to be very, very important. Okay, the perspective does matter that, okay, this is the place where I think that the restaurant will work. But then again, if we'll talk about malls in Delhi NCR, there are 3 malls that are doing very well, GIP, City Walk and DLF Ambience Mall. But what if you don't want to open a place there? What if you are looking for a new area? Then it becomes very, very important that you do your research well, even if you are opening it in Sector 29 Gurgaon, even if you are opening it in Defense Colony. It becomes very, very important that you do your own research, you understand that how many people are coming in here and everything. Similarly, designing and layout of the restaurant is a very, very important thing. If you don't have any experience, then you should always have an experienced guy, a professional who tells you about what kind of a layout you should have in a restaurant. In restaurant, the sitting capacity is very, very important. In terms of the area that you have, let's say if you have 1,000 square feet of area, it becomes very, very important that how many covers you are taking out in that 1,000 square feet of area. So even if we feel that I'll keep my restaurant open, I'll keep my restaurant very kulla-dulla, it does not make any sense, because unless once the waiting will start, once the more and more people will start coming to your restaurant, you would need more covers to generate more revenue. So, and you should not make it like in 1,000 square feet, I'll put 300 covers, which again will put the people off. So, designing and layout is a very, very crucial point where you understand each and every aspect. The professional explains you that, this is the kind of layout you should have, and this is the kind of kitchen setup that you should have, this is the kind of kitchen machinery that you should have, and everything. It is very, very important, as probably I missed out a point on budget, wherein I was saying that it depends on your budget what kind of a concept you would be able to do. If you have a small budget, you would be able to open a takeaway. You would be able to open an express. If you have a medium budget, you can open a restaurant, a food court. If you have a high budget, you can open full dining restaurant. So let's say if I'll talk about figures, a takeaway joint can be opened in between 8 to 15 lakh rupees. Depends again what kind of machinery that you are taking, what kind of standards that you are maintaining, I'll give you a small example why I cannot give you an exact figure about how, how much money, or how much capital you would need to start a restaurant. Is, let's say, a spoon that we use in a restaurant comes for approximately 7 rupees and it goes up to 200 rupees. So it depends what kind of the standard you want to maintain. So, that's the variation that we have, and that's the reason we won't be able to tell you, I won't be able to tell you the exact budget that you would require in opening a restaurant. But then again, just for figures, just for an approximate thing, a takeaway menu can open somewhere between 8 to 12 lakh rupees, 15 lakh rupees. An express can open somewhere between 8 to 15 lakh rupees. A fine dining, a cafe you can open a cafe upon 30 to 35 lakh rupees. Now I'm talking about X rent, because nowadays rent and investment has become two major parts. Somewhere, some markets you have to pay 6 months of rental in advance. So if your rent is 10 lakh rupees, you are paying 60 lakh rupees in advance. And similarly, so I'm only talking about the investment that would be required in setting up an infrastructure. A fine dining restaurant can cost you somewhere between 80 to 85 lakh rupees or even higher. So let's say if I'll give you examples, and I'll give you an example figure that this much amount of money is needed to set up that kind of a restaurant. So if we are talking about a Wajiba, or if you are talking about Chavla chicken, somewhere between 10 to 15 lakh. If you are talking about like a CCD, if you are talking about like a barista, then 25 to 30 lakh rupees is a good amount of money required. If we are talking about Big Chill, we are talking about any Italian restaurant, then 45 to 50 lakh rupees is a good amount. If you are talking about Pimbaluchi, we are talking about Moti Mahal, then 65, 70, 75 lakh rupees is a good amount. If you are talking about more hires like Punjab Grill and Punjabi by Nature, then of course they have invested huge amount of money. Their standards are very, very high. Why I am stressing on this point is because whatever money you input in the restaurant, that will decide on the menu pricing. What is the kind of menu pricing that you want to keep. Now, you paying a rent of 10,000 rupees, you cannot sell a tandoori roti for 100 rupees. A Punjabi by Nature or Punjab Grill are selling a tandoori roti for 100 rupees because they have invested that much in the business. And then again, that is the kind of rent that they are paying in terms of pricing. Now, I'll give you a small example. 99% of the restaurant industry use ITC Ahar Atta. 99% of the restaurants. So, but you will see restaurants who are selling tandoori roti for 10 rupees. You will see a restaurant in Noida, Sector 18 selling a tandoori roti for 20 rupees. Similarly, Punjabi by Nature selling it for 105 rupees. Gulati selling it for 30 rupees. And any other restaurant selling it for some other amount. But what is more important is that you understand how to get the right menu pricing. It's not about the food cost that decides the menu pricing. It also depends on the money that you have invested. It also depends on the overheads that you have on a monthly basis. It depends on the rent that you are paying. All said and done, I always follow one funda that menu pricing should be kept in such a manner that any customer who is walking in does not feel the pinch. That probably the people going into Punjabi by Nature does not feel the pinch there. But I suggest that whenever you decide on the menu pricing, also decide on the factors that what are my target customers, what am I aiming. I take away join selling a tandoori roti for 50 rupees does not make any sense, because you are not catering to anybody who is paying 50 rupees for tandoori roti would like to come to a restaurant and eat it. So similarly, it is very, very important that menu pricing is kept in the best way. It should not pinch the customer. The customer should feel that he can come again and again. He can come whenever he wants to the restaurant. He can eat and it's not hitting his pocket. If you are able to, put this thing in your customer mind that whenever he is coming to the restaurant, the money that he is paying to the restaurant is worth it. you will always be full of regular customers. You'll be always be full of repeated customers. But if a customer is walking into your restaurant and once he is walking out, he is feeling कि नहीं यार, it was not worth it, the value for money was not there, or it is an expensive restaurant, then of course the repeated customer would be a little less. Staffing is very, very important. Trials are very, very important. There is a soft opening whenever you open the restaurant. A soft opening is like a beta whenever we launch a website. So, it's a trial thing wherein wherein you call your friends, you call your families, you call managers from the industry, you call chef from the industry, where they come in, they taste your food, they suggest you that what have you done the right thing, is your sitting right, is your food preparation right, and is your lighting of the restaurant right, and everything about the best gurus of the restaurant. You call them and you tell them that you know that they suggest you everything about your restaurant. So this is basically a soft opening. Until you become confident about yourself, now is the time that I can open it to the major public, wherein people can come, and I make sure that everything in the restaurant will go well. Then is the time that you start marketing, you start calling people, you start doing advertisement and everything.
Sure. Thanks, Manas. I think it will be great if you can now carry us through the journey. You are right now running 3 restaurants, and each of these 3 are different in their positioning, budget, menu, kind of customers they are catering to, location. Could you walk us through how you started, why you started, and what's the kind of performance these 3 are giving you?
Right. I mean, this is the most easiest part. Though I was rethinking on my words whenever I was saying it, that I should make sure whatever I'm writing, it should be the best thing, and I don't want that any person should take a wrong input from me. But of course, about my experience when we started Desi Vibes, I was not a restaurateur. I didn't have a hotel management degree, but I had a mind that I want to open a restaurant. And me and my friend Varun Khera, we both were working for Jet Airways that time, and we thought that why not open a restaurant. So similarly, we went through the same journey. We decided on a concept. We wanted to open a food court in Dwarka. Then we thought about taking a franchisee of Dosa Plaza, who serves 105 different dosas, which was a very new concept that time. We went to Ludhiana and we thought we should open a Dosa Plaza on a highway in Murthal. Then we kept on thinking, we kept on doing surveys, we kept on standing outside restaurants, counting that how many people are going inside the restaurant on Tuesday, that what is the kind of potential that this market has. Until we decided that we wanted to open a village-themed restaurant, which will be like entire antique look, wherein people can come and feel that they are in a gaon. And then we did a survey in Sector 18 market. The first location that we pitched in, they didn't allow us. They said that we would give it to a brand. Every day we have people who comes to us and they say that they want to open a restaurant. You two people are too young to handle a restaurant, and we won't be able to give you a location. Though we feel very grateful because then we got a better location. And once we started Desi Vibes, it was a journey in itself. Our table, when we started designing our tables, we realized that the size is wrong. Our restaurant was open and we didn't have a store. So a manager of a nearby restaurant came to visit Desi Vibes. He saw that we didn't have a store. So he asked us, you don't have a store with you? I said, why do we need a store? So he told us that, you need store because you would be saving things, you would be getting ration and everything, so you need a store. So that's the way we learned, and we started pulling customer, asking people that why don't you just try a restaurant? It's a new restaurant. People started liking them. Then there were many staff issues. We never knew how to make a roster for staff, what time housekeeping wala will come and what time the other housekeeping wala will come. But overall, the foremost thing that I have learned is what matters is the customer experience. There would be days when customer won't be happy with your service. There would be days when the customer won't be happy with your food. If you are ready to accept your mistake, if you are ready to apologize to them, if you are ready to ask for another chance to them, people would like to give it to you. If you are not taking care of them, if they are upset, then of course you are not in the right business. uh, I always say that there is, if you want to be a restaurateur, there are three characteristics that are must that every restaurateur should have. You should be you should be willing to, what customers are saying. So as a policy, we make sure that each and every review that goes to the internet, we take it very, very seriously. We have a suggestion card with benchmarks. Every message goes to customer that, thank you so much for filling up the suggestion card. The suggestion cards are entered into computers and we form drafts and everything. Personally, when we started Decibys, we used to take care of each and every customer. We used to talk to each and every customer. Then, after a year, after 2 years, we realized now that we are learning about it, our operation systems, our manuals, our training systems were getting into place. Then we thought that there is no Italian joint in Noida. And a very good friend of my partner, Varun Khera, uh, came into picture, and a very good friend, my school friend, came into picture, and we four then again did the entire survey. We started asking people who were coming to Desi Vibes that whether they would like to have an Italian joint in Noida. We did a complete survey in Amity that whether they are looking for a kind of a cafe wherein they can come and hang out. There were only Barista and CCD that time, so a mocha was also there. Then we made sure that we are different than Barista, CCD, and mocha, and we provide what people are looking for, and we opened Cafe, Italian Cafe, after 3 years of Desi Vibes. We also have a corporate catering wherein we supply 5,000 meals on a daily basis to corporates in Noida, which is again a very, very tough thing, supplying meals at the rate of 40, wherein people, every IT company has a different perspective about the food. Naisha was recently started 5-6 months back, which is a club, and we made sure that of all the clubs in Noida, this should have the best ambience, and it should be very different in approach. We never wanted to keep it dingy like the clubs are nowadays. We never wanted to keep it so light that people will feel that it's a full dining restaurant, all day dining restaurant. So that's about it, Amit. The one take that whenever person talk about me, whenever we talk, and we try and give that guru mantra is that everything boils down to one part: customer satisfaction. If your customer is delighted when he is walking out of your restaurant will never fail. You'll keep on running your restaurant. If your customers are satisfied, or if your customers are not going that happy, you'll always face competition. You'll always face marketing issues. You'll always try to pull down customers. So that's about it, Amit. I guess I've covered each and every point,
Yeah, great.
and I hope that the
Yeah, Manas, I think it has been a great session up to now, since we got to learn from your stories, the way you started without having any prior experience, neither professionally nor from education side, and you have been through this journey of starting and running successfully 3 restaurants. I think now it's time to devote to our questions, and they have been running fast from our audience side. I would request you to please play the slides once more for those who joined us late, and we'll
sure.
start the questions. Any of you who wants to speak your questions can raise your hand, and those of you who have already typed down your questions, I'll take them one by one. Okay. So Vishal has one question, and a very, very relevant one. What are the best ways to promote a new restaurant? Could you give us, let us say, 3 to 5 points on what are the ways to promote a new restaurant?
Sorry,
Your
Amit,
battery
can
is low. Your laptop battery is low. Could you please just
no,
plug
no,
it?
it's okay. I'm putting on the charger.
Okay, sure.
Yes, Amit.
Vishal Kejriwal
What's
has
the
a
question?
question. What are the best ways to promote a new restaurant?
Because it all
Vishal.
depends on what kind of a budget. Sorry,
Vishal.
Vishal.
Yeah.
Vishal, it all depends on what kind of a budget you have to spend. 99% of the times when you will start a restaurant, you will never be left with the budget to promote your restaurant. So, but still, it depends what kind of a target audience you have. So, I'll just give you an example. Barista advertising in Dainik Jagran does not make any sense. Barista advertising in Amity makes sense. Similarly, a family restaurant advertising on Zomato.com does not make any sense. If a family restaurant advertising in newspapers makes sense. So let's say I'll make it more clear. It should be a combination of internet, wherein the best ways to advertise your restaurant currently is Zomato.com, TimeCity.com, Burp.com, where you have millions and millions of customers who are visiting the sites daily. And then again, you can also have a mix of print media, print ads, wherein you don't spend that much of amount that for such a small space you are paying Hindustan Times or Times of India a huge amount. They always come up with schemes after 2 months, 3 months, wherein whenever you are paying a nominal amount, you get a huge space. Whenever you are buying a media, make sure you are buying the media at the right amount, at the right price. It is negotiated in a very high manner. A magazine guy will come to you and will say that this full page ad will cost you 60,000 rupees, but once you start negotiating, he'll give you that ad in 6,000 rupees. So, just choose according to your target audience is the right way, to select the right medium for your advertisements.
Okay, great. So let us go to the next question. Pallavi Agrawal has a question. She wants to have an idea about the legal issues or the paperwork required for starting a restaurant.
Yeah, hi Pallavi. Very important question. Of course, I guess I forgot to mention and to cover it. See, Pallavi, every area has different legal things attached to it. Gurgaon will have a different legal thing. Delhi has a different legal thing. Noida has different legal things. But majorly, what you need is a fire license. You need a food license. Now, FSSI has made it compulsory for each and every restaurant to use FSSI products, and every day that you have something new on the food alteration and making sure that you are using the right thing. But as in broadly, in bullet points, the first you need is a food license, you need a shop act registration, you need uh, ESITF for your organization. You need a service tax because you are selling something. You need a CST TIN number because you are selling something, and that's about it. If you have, if you are serving liquor, then of course you need an excise license, a liquor license that covers each and every part. That's about it.
Okay, thanks. So let us have a next question. Kapil Israni, I have unmuted you. Kapil, would you like to speak your query? Kapil Israni? Yes, Kapil, I have unmuted you. I think Kapil's mic may not be working. Let us go to the next. Uh, Ashish has a case. He wants to have a theme to open a restaurant. How can he analyze that this theme fits into the market? If
Right.
you are
So
doing a
Ashish, are you
theme-based
looking for a
restaurant, yes.
okay, so he's thinking about a theme. Uh, Ashish, the best way is that a theme is basically the ambience part of the restaurant. So now, how important is that the restaurant should have good ambience? Is directly proportional to that. Once the person will step into your restaurant, till the time you will serve him food, 20 minutes he's not getting bored. He's enjoying where he is sitting. He's enjoying whatever he is seeing. So if that theme will interest that person for 20 minutes, then you have chosen the right thing. If the people, if you think that the customer will get bored about, I'll just give you a small example now. Uh, Restaurant runs on regular business. Restaurant runs on repeated customer. So it is very, very important that uh, your theme does not bore a customer very easily. He can come down to your restaurant 5 times, 7 times, 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, 50 times, and he'll never get bored. He sees a theme and he says, "Wow, that yes, it should be different. It should not look copied. It should be something very new, something very unique." Uh, and that's it. I
Sure.
guess if you want to do a survey, you can probably ask 100, 150 people about the kind of theme that you are looking for. Nobody will copy it because nobody can open a restaurant in one day, kind of a thing. That is.
Okay, great. Sachin M has a question. What is the break-even time of a restaurant? Could you give some examples in your life for the people that you know about who are running restaurants? How much time does it take to get to a break-even? How much billing has to be done, or any ways in which to assign it?
Of course, Sachin, it all depends on how much money you have invested in the outlet. But then again, on an average basis, if your restaurant is doing well, if you are able to do break even of your operations in the first 6 months, you would be able to take out your money in 3 to 4 years of time. It can be even less. Now, I again give you an example. Let's say a restaurant which was opened in GIP on the first day, because of the high footfall, or a restaurant which was opened in an ambience mall in Gurgaon, because of the high footfall, they started making money and they started making revenues on the first day of their operation. But a restaurant which was opened in a market in, let's say, in Sector 18 or Sector 29 Gurgaon, or let's say Defcon, the walk-ins are not that high. So they have to promote the restaurant. Gradually people will start walking in. Gradually the people will become customers. Gradually the word of mouth will start spreading and everything. So it also depends how soon your restaurant becomes popular, how soon you break even your operation expenses. Once you break even your operations, then only you'll start making profit. And once you start making profit, then you'll break even in your investment. So that's about it. Yes.
Okay, great. Another question that comes from Abhishek is, in every location where people are present, there is a competition. Then how do you overcome competition and strategically choose a location? Do you want to be near to the competition while choosing the location of a restaurant, or you want to be far away from them? And how do you position yourself in front of and against competition?
See, first of all, there is no competition in restaurants. If there are 3,600 restaurants, probably more in Delhi NCR, imagine how many people are going out to eat every day. You not even need 0.01% of the customers who are going out of their house to eat every day. So, keeping in mind that you have competition or 5 restaurants will open in this market, then what will happen? It all depends on the kind of restaurant that you have. The people go out to eat every day. You don't have to worry about whether you'll get customers or not if you are good enough. It definitely makes sense to open a restaurant near to a restaurant which is already running, because you have 300, 400, 500 people walking into that restaurant every day, and every day there are 300, 400, 500 people who are seeing your restaurant, who are going to eat into some other restaurant. There might be a possibility that on the second time when they'll visit, they'll come to your restaurant. There might be a possibility the third time when they come to that restaurant, they'll come to your restaurant. So instead of opening a restaurant which is far away from a running restaurant, it definitely makes sense that you open a restaurant next door where already a restaurant is working and doing very well.
Okay, great. Manas, can we extend the session for another 10 minutes? We have a lot of questions coming up from our audience.
My pleasure.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Uh, Rakesh has a question. Uh, what is the approximate amount of opening a restaurant in a metropolitan city, let us say Bangalore? Could you cite some instances?
Rakesh, uh, see, it all depends on your plan. Now, let's say if you don't have an architecture hired, if you don't have an interior designer hired, and if you are thinking of cutting that cost and doing everything of your own, then of course the time would be a little higher. Then if you are planning a restaurant in a mall, you don't have to take care of the plumbing issues, you don't have to take care of the electricity issues, you don't have to take care of the generator issue, you don't have to take care of power backups, such kind of things. If you're opening up in a restaurant, you have to take care of your plumbing, the sewage, the water, the electricity backup, and the infrastructure of that building. And it also depends on what kind of an area you have. Now let's say if you only have 500 square feet area wherein you are doing the interiors, and if you have 2000 square feet of area in you are doing interiors, obviously it will take more time, but broadly 2 to 3 months is a good amount of time wherein you should have, whether you are doing a big project, whether you are doing a small project. 45 days to 90 days is what you should keep as a deadline for you, so the restaurant to be operational. Why I am saying this is, whenever you will take a rented place, the rent is only free for first month. The probably he'll give you only 15 days rent free time. So the sooner your restaurant is operational, the sooner you'll start saving on the cost part. So it is very, very important that you're always on your toes and making sure that your restaurant is open within 45 to 90 days the moment you start doing it.
Sure. Thanks. There is another question which is about the profit margins. Could you take up a related question, two parts? One is, what are the various expenses in operational terms? Could you give us some ratios, or okay, so mota mota out of 100
Mhm.
rupees, this much goes for salaries, this much goes for raw
Definitely.
material. Could you give us some big ratios on a higher level basis? And then could you talk us about what are the kind of margins that are possible and in takeaway, fine dining, or any different kind of restaurants?
Right. It's again a myth that people say that a restaurant is a high margin business. Restaurant is not that high margin a business, but what makes restaurant a good margin business is because you are dealing in cash. You don't have to give credit to anybody, and you are buying things in credit. So that gives you a kind of cash flow wherein you can rotate the entire money, you can rotate the entire cash flow, and you can get, you're always on a safer side because you are selling in cash and you are buying in credit. But uh, broadly speaking, a rent of a restaurant should be covered in 5 days of his sale. If your rent is getting covered in 5 days of your sale, you will have a successful restaurant. If your rent is not getting covered in 5 days of your sale, you will not have a successful restaurant at any cost, at any point of time. Now, this is a very good way to judge that, okay, I'm planning a restaurant in Defcon market, or I'm planning a restaurant in Kalkaji market. The rent is 1 lakh rupees and I am thinking that the restaurant will do a sale of 15,000 rupees. Does not make any sense. So the kind of sale that you are hoping and the kind of rent that you are paying, if you are able to cover it in maximum 5 days, your restaurant would always be running. But if you are not able to make it, cover in 5 days, you will have to work hard. So I'm not giving you a percentage. I have given you a good figure to see this. Then again, your salary should be somewhere between 10 to 12%. You should not pay more than 10 to 12% of your total revenue. What the best figure whenever we talk about a food industry is 30 to 35% should be your food cost. If your food cost is above 30 to 35%, you need to work on your purchases. You need to work on the amount of the portion size that you are serving. You need to work on if the amount of food that you are buying is getting wasted or not. So 30 to 35% is the benchmark for the hospitality industry, that this should be your food cost. Now, this can be higher also if there are many restaurants who keep their pricing low to get more customers, and they keep the quality high. But I'm telling you about the benchmark factors. overall, you should be able to fetch a profit margin somewhere between 20 to 25%. It can go to even higher if your purchase, if your expenses are in control, if you know where each and every penny that you're earning is going. For example, you buy an ad of 10,000 rupees. That ad of 10,000 rupees have come of a sale of 50,000 rupees. Because in that 50,000 rupees, you are making a profit of 25%. So that ad actually is coming out of a sale of 50,000 rupees. So if you have a strong tight hand on the expenses that you have, you would be able to get a profit margin of 25 to 30%, which is easily achievable.
Thanks, Manas. I hope our friends got some nice insights on the cost structures and the financial structures for the restaurant. One question that always remains is the menu design. So, what is the
Right.
science or the art that goes behind the menu design? I have been to various restaurants and every menu is different. So, could you
Right.
walk us through how to design the menu and how to do the pricing and what does it take for preparing the menu of a restaurant?
Right. See, there are many aspects while whenever you are thinking about designing a menu. Now, there are two ways to design a menu. A, you sell everything. B, you sell what you can sell the best. As in, you'll find two kinds of restaurants who will have a very limited menu. They sell what they can sell the best. And you'll have a restaurant which will have everything. They'll have every damn variety of food into it. So, again, advantages, disadvantages are both the side. Now, a restaurant have to keep dal makhni, a restaurant have to keep butter chicken in the menu. Even if they don't make it well, they have to keep it in the menu. So, there are advantages and disadvantages on both the sides. But overall, let's say, you should always have a combination of the highest selling items, the popular items, the items that are not there in the market, as in unique items, the items that your chef specializes in, and people, you start selling them, you start uh, suggesting them to the customer so that people cannot go to any other restaurant because your chef makes it. Then again, while keeping, it should be uh, not complex design. People should be, if they want to choose a starter, then they can choose it very easily. They should not scroll down from 10, 15 pages that where is the starter, where is the main course, where is the rice section. It should be so easily designed that, whenever a person wants to go to the starter page, he knows that, okay, the third page is the starter or the fifth page is the starter. Clearly defined. The pricing of the menu again depends that my basic funda is that you should keep it value for money. People should feel that it is worth more than what I am paying. They should never feel that I am paying more than what it is worth. Again, the competition, 3,700 restaurants, every market has 70, 80 restaurants. You should give every reason to the customer to come back to your restaurant. If you are able to do so, then you'll have a lot of customers getting to your restaurant.
Okay, great. One of our friend Vishesh Bajaj is looking for partners for his restaurant idea. If any of you wish to approach him, please write to him. I have given you Vishesh's email ID. We hope that through this webinar something positive takes place for Vishesh or the site. Another question is from the branding part of it. So for branding a restaurant, is there some kind of a trademark or copyright or any other legal process that you use? If you can suggest and share that with us, Manas.
Right. About the Vishesh query, who is looking for a partner. Partnership is like getting married. So, before selecting your partner, as you will do your complete due diligence, should I get married to this female or should I get married to this guy? Similarly, once you are making partner, do complete due diligence and make sure that it lasts forever. And if you have a single iota of doubt that this partnership won't last forever, then you'll have a divorce, and which will be very, very uh, wrong on both the parts. Anyways, in terms of branding, of course, you cannot copy a name, you cannot copy a logo of any other restaurant. The moment you decide on the restaurant, you should immediately apply for trademark of that name. And the moment your trademark formalities are done, it makes sense that nobody else can copy your name. I remember while we were thinking of a name for Desi Vibes, we were keeping it Cosmo Village first. And while we were on the verge of finalizing it as Cosmo Village, we got coupons from HDFC Bank in which Cosmo Village was there in Bangalore. So there might be a possibility that you are thinking of a name which is there in some remote corner of Chennai and you don't know it. So do a due diligence, search it on Google, talk to a good trademark agency who will search it for you whether this trademark is registered, whether there is a business running in this trademark or not, and then once you are finalized with the name, which should be very catchy, which should be very unique, you can always apply for your trademark.
Okay, yeah, great. Thanks. One more question from a test marketing perspective. Is it better to open one kind of a model restaurant in a mall or any locality, so that you are able to get some audience coming in, and keep your setup cost low? Is that better for test marketing purpose, or you just full-fledged open the restaurant, making all the investments? Is there some way in which you can test market your, let us say, menu, pricing, theme, etc.?
See, restaurant is not a test business. Restaurant, as far as the business industry is concerned, you see so many successful restaurants every day. In every market, there are so many successful restaurants. So you don't have to test this whether a restaurant will run or not. What you have to test is whether your pricing is right, whether your theme is right, whether your branding is right, whether your food is right. The three pillars in a restaurant is, of course, the ambience that makes the customer visit your restaurant for the first time if he sees the ambience. Food is like a backbone. If you are not serving the food right, you are not in the right industry. It's like you are manufacturing shirts, you are manufacturing it all wrong. So it does not make any sense. So if you are serving, you have to make sure that you are serving the best of the food. The third is the service aspect. I'll give you a small example that you will never be able to put a benchmark that iska khana sabse acha hai. This restaurant's dal makhni is the best. You will never be able to form a general opinion that this dal makhni is the best, or he serves the best butter chicken, he serves the best paneer. You will never be able to do so. You will never be able to do so that this restaurant has the best ambience, this restaurant has the most beautiful theme and the most innovative theme, because every day a new theme comes in, every day a new ambience restaurant comes in. But you would always be able to distinguish a good service restaurant from the other restaurant, that restaurant has an excellent service. That restaurant serves, and the waiters there and the stewards there are excellent in the service. So you have to make sure, once you make sure that your ambience while you are designing your restaurant is attractive, and people will definitely would love to visit and see your ambience. They will not get bored while they are sitting idle. There are many ways to involve people into this, making sure that you are serving the right food, you are taking the positive feedback, you are improving on your food every time, you are telling your chef that making each and every dish with the full heart. And then, of course, if you are taking care of your service, you are taking care of your feedbacks, you are talking to your customers, you are making them happy, you are making their children happy, you are offering them birthday things, you are offering them anniversary gifts and everything, you don't have to test the restaurant.
Okay, great. I think Manas, a couple of queries left from the audience side.
No problem.
Pradeep is highly concerned about the hiring and motivating of people. Okay, since restaurant is a people business, could you throw some light on
Mhm.
that aspect of how to hire the best of the people and what kind of salaries?
Pradeep, as far as the hiring is concerned, how did we hire was we went to many restaurants and we started doing trials. What is trial is that you go to each and every restaurant, you start tasting their food, you start seeing the stewards around, and we started noting down that what are the things that they're doing wrong. What are the things that we always used to carry our bag with us, and we always used to make sure we just started noting what are the things that they're doing wrong. When it came to hiring, we made sure that that we are not paying very high to the stewards because we have to keep in mind the cost factor, and we are spending a lot of time in training. Instead of paying them more amount of money, instead of hiring only the experienced people, we are paying more time with them, training them on service aspect. Now let's say, Pradeep, if you start reading articles on Google how to make customer happy, you would be able to tell your steward about hundred of things that he must not be knowing or he must be ignoring. There are many companies now who consult to restaurants and they help you with stewards, they help you with chefs. Whenever you plan up a restaurant in any location, obviously there are 50, 70, 80 restaurants who are already there. So what you do is you start spreading up a word that we are opening a new restaurant, we are hiring staff. People will again start walking in. Hindustan Times, Times of India, that 3-line, 4-line wali ad, if you give, you'll get 100 of calls. You have to choose the right guys. 99% of the resumes are fake. So you have to test them on your personal basis. You have to keep a close eye on how that person is working yourself, and then judge that person whether he is rightly motivated, whether he'll keep the other people motivated, whether he'll be happy. I'll give you a small funda. If you enter your restaurant or if you enter into your business, keeping in mind that this is your first day of your business, this is your first customer, whomsoever is sitting into that restaurant and you feel that this is the first customer and this is my first day of my restaurant, you will put your heart to make him happy. If that is the message that goes to your steward, if that is the message that goes to your chef, if that is the message goes to each and every person working in your organization, then your customer will go happy. For that, you have to put a lot of time and effort in training your staff.
Okay, great. I hope that's a lot of insights on HR management. One question from Kapil's side is there are a lot of fluctuations, inflation, rising price of vegetables, inventory. What are the techniques that you use to ensure that you are safeguarded from these kind of risk? What are your risk management policies?
See, Kapil, obviously a restaurant gets affected because of inflation. You don't like raising your menu prices after every 6 months, neither does it form a good impression on your customer. What happens is whenever you are finalizing your vendors, you finalize the rates on a yearly basis because you review your menu on a yearly basis. Now, if you are selling a particular dish, a non-veg dish for 225 and if you are buying a chicken for 100 rupees, you don't want to bear the cost that what if the chicken goes to 170 rupees? You cannot raise, you cannot put a sticker on your menu that, now the price is 325 rupees. So whenever you are finalizing a vendor, you try and finalize the rate for the entire year. What happens is he'll give you an average. He'll give you an average. He will not give you the current rate that is there in the market. He'll give you an average of 150, 120, 125 rupees and the current rate would be 100 rupees probably. But this will save you from the price fluctuation and the inflation fluctuation, whether the chicken is for 100 rupees or whether the chicken is for 175 rupees, you are buying it at 125 rupees, and similarly you can plan your menu. This also happens in terms of vegetables. Whenever you have onions, you have onions that goes at to 70, 80 rupees a kg. You have lemon that goes to 200, 250 rupees a kg. It saves you. You have garlic that goes to a very high price. So whenever you are finalizing a vegetable vendor, you finalize the rate that are on a year basis. Probably tomatoes nowadays are very expensive, that we would be buying it on a yearly basis. that is the best policy and the best funda, to be on the safer side.
Okay, great. Manas, I think we are running short of time. One last question that we can allow at this point of time is, what are the resources or blogs or some websites you can share with us that our audience can go through for more details on how to start a restaurant, or what are the good things or bad things? What are the kind of websites that you follow regularly and you would like to share with our friends?
Uh, the irony is, in India, I have not seen a very good Indian website serving the problems and giving you a tip on the restaurant industry. But internationally, there are many organizations. Obviously, they talk on dollars. They talk on a very different module. They talk on Christmas. They talk on everything. But their customer service reports and their manuals, their operation systems are very, very nice. So one of the very good website which can give you, operation insights, which can give you training modules, which can give you checklist for your restaurant is runningrestaurants.com. Very, very good website. And similarly, there was this book, How Did Starbucks, a book on Starbucks, I've forgotten the name, which was all about customer service that Starbucks focus. Excellent book on customer service. And they have so many insights about the system. There's so many insights about how they have trained their staff, how their staff remember which person drinks what coffee, and the customer delightment process that they follow. So it is again a very good resource. These are the only two resources, and any good book on customer service, because until unless your customer is delighted, everything that you are doing is a waste.
Okay. I think
So
it's
any good book
five
on customer
principles for
service.
turning ordinary into extraordinary. Is it? Starbucks experience, five principles for turning ordinary into extraordinary.
Right.
Okay, great. So Google helps at some point of time. Okay, great. So I think it has been a wonderful session. More questions and comments will keep coming in. Thanks a lot to you, Manas. Very, very insightful, short and sweet summary of your journey. If you could like to share with us maybe one or two last piece of advice which for all our audience members present right now they can carry, what is it that you would like to tell them? One or two lines.
A,
If suppose you
right.
are
A,
starting today, what will you tell yourself?
okay, I'll submit to three things.
Okay.
A, never think that you are planning to start a restaurant. Always think in terms of you are planning to start. You will make sure that your restaurant will keep on running. Out of 10 restaurants, I guess only 9 restaurants, only one restaurant survives in their first year. 9 restaurants fail. So always keep in mind that you have to make sure that the restaurant runs. Don't make sure that you are opening a restaurant. B is you should go to any extent. Any extent. Don't think of profit margin. Don't think of the money that you are making. Go to any extent in terms of customer delight. I'll give you a small example. There was a case in Desi Bhai's when we were serving kadhai chicken to a long HCL table. The chicken fell from the steward's hand and it fell on the customer's shirt. Immediately we bought a new shirt from Prabhu showroom and we gave it to him. So we go to that standards that whenever customer walks out of your restaurants, they says, wow. The moment this will start happening, you'll have the best marketing happening for your restaurant, which would be word of mouth. Third is the strong, how do I say this now? The amount of time you are spending on the customer delightment, if the same amount of time you are spending on your costing part, you'll always be on a safer side. If you are controlling your costs well, if you are spending each and every penny, thinking and then spending, you will definitely have a successful restaurant.
Okay, great. Manas, I think this sums it up for you as well as for all our audience members. Very, very wonderful session. I would like to thank you on behalf of Nurture Talent and all our audience members who are present today. And to our audience members, I wish you all the best for your future. Thanks, Manas, for joining us today, and all our audience members. Thanks to all of you for being such patient audience. We hope to bring together more and more such insightful sessions in the future as well. Uh, I'm Amit Grover, CEO of Nurture Talent Academy, wishing you the best for the future. Good night and have a great life ahead. See you. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.